I'm Curtis Woods, along with Joel Green on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220. The subject today on Senior Moments is how can the Santa Clarita Senior Resource Alliance help you? Our guests are Cynthia Rabinovich of Move My Senior and Candy Watson, Reverse Mortgage Specialist. All of our guests and hosts are members of the Santa Clarita Senior Resource Alliance. The phone lines are open for your questions. Call us at 298-5487. So Joel, as we mentioned, everybody's part of the Santa Clarita Senior Resource Alliance. Tell us a little bit about the Alliance. What can a person expect from the Alliance?
Well, a person can expect to be pointed in the right direction regardless of what their question may be.
Right.
If somebody needs to know a reputable firm for moving, there's Move My Senior. If somebody needs to have some advice on reverse mortgages, Candy Watson is a reverse mortgage specialist. If somebody needs help with geriatric care management, there's Dr. Jill Brink. Mm-hmm. So basically, there's a group of professionals that can at least answer questions. They can point you in the direction you need to go. If somebody needs home care, there's Home Instead Senior Care. That's the company that I'm associated with.
Which I think is awesome, and I think with the Resource Alliance, that is the point. Just contact us, have the conversation, so we can help you find the answers to the questions you need.
And the really plus part about the Alliance is any one of the members of the Alliance can point you in the direction that you need to go. If
Right.
you were to call Cynthia at Move My Senior or Candy, our reverse mortgage specialist, and you needed help with geriatric care management
Right.
or a reputable audiologist, they could point you in that direction.
Awesome. So tell us more about what you do and what service you provide to the Alliance.
Home Instead Senior Care is the world's largest home care company.
Awesome.
We provide one-on-one home care. And what home care is we help people with, it's called ADLs.
ADLs, okay.
ADLs, the best example of ADLs, it's all the things that you and I do when we get up in the morning.
Okay.
It's things like bathing, going from the bedroom to perhaps the bathroom or the kitchen, getting dressed, toileting, showering, transportation, household duties. It's everything non-medical.
Got it. So those are things that people might do on a daily basis, but they may not know how important they are in regular life activities until like maybe mom or a senior adult might lose those functions.
Or have a great deal of difficulty with those functions.
Right.
With Home Instead, the things that one would look for in a reputable home care company is you would want to know that the company has been established in an area for a certain period of time. Mm-hmm. In California, there is no licensure today.
Wow.
So what I always tell families when I speak with them is that I could take that old beater van and I could go to Pitch's Detention Center on Fridays when the felons are released on work release. I could fill up that van with convicted felons.
Wow.
And I could put those felons in the home of your mom and dad.
So then how do we, as just the average consumer, differentiate those that might not have the best resources available to them?
You'd want to make sure that whoever you use as a company does criminal background checks.
Okay.
You'd want to make sure that they're drug tested.
Okay.
You'd want to make sure that the people that they hire have experience. Mm-hmm. And you'd want to make sure that the company that you use has some kind of a written agreement.
Got it.
With Home Instead, it's called a service agreement. Service agreement spells out everything that you should expect from us and the things that we should expect from you.
All right, now is from a consumer standpoint, that's not rude to ask that service person for that information, is it?
And you should ask that. At Home Instead, when we start service, we start with a client journal. Mm-hmm. And in that client journal, we record every single thing that a caregiver does while they're there with a loved one.
Got it.
And therefore, that client journal remains on site as long as we maintain service.
Got it.
A family member can come in and look inside the client journal, see what did mom or dad eat today? What were their menu selections? What did we have a doctor appointment? What did mom and dad take their medications on time, or did they refuse their medications?
Got it. And on that note, what are some of the most frequently requested services that people ask for?
What I would say that the majority of people, the vast majority, say, can you come in and clean my house? Mm-hmm. And if they get anybody in our office saying, can you come in and clean my house, we say no. Right. We're not house cleaners. We work with house cleaners, but we maintain a clean home.
Got it.
So if your home starts out that way, it will always remain that way.
I see.
But for a real home care company, the critical areas are always the bathroom and the kitchen.
Got it.
Because personal hygiene, as we age for many seniors, becomes a major issue. Well, the last time we got called in on somebody whose mother hadn't taken a shower or a bath in about 4.5 months.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, UTIs run rampant. UTI is a urinary tract infection, and that can very frequently affect somebody's cognition, as in manifesting signs of dementia.
Wow. So when you go into a situation and let's say someone has, requested your services, and then you find that, the place just isn't in great condition to begin with, can you give at least some minimal services, or would you immediately refer them to someone?
Well, what we would say is we would request the family to get a cleaning service, and let's get the house clean. And then once it's clean, we can make sure that mom or dad is maintaining their hygiene.
Right.
We can make sure that meals are cooked nutritionally. Very frequently, as people age, their involvement in their own nutrition becomes lessened.
Right.
Where we go from, I'll just make something easy, to tonight I'll just have a frozen dinner, to, I don't think I really want to take that much time or effort. Maybe I'll just have some prepackaged peanut butter cookies.
Wow.
To, I'm really not hungry at all, I'll just make some tea.
Okay, and then you have people that'll help them kind of understand the value of nutrition
and do it for them, and request and get meal and menu suggestions from the actual client that we work with.
Awesome. So that has to be a great benefit for families that they may not know of. What are some of the major benefits that you would see for someone looking for services?
I think probably the biggest benefit is something called respite care. And respite care comes from, it's exactly what it sounds like. Respite or reprise is time off. So very frequently family members are involved with the care of their immediate parents or in-laws. And that becomes extremely, extremely stressful.
Right.
And many times it becomes a 24/7 job.
Their caregivers may not even know it, and then they're draining their own personal resources and may not notice the slow drain out.
Exactly. And, it's said in the home care business, it's said that we're all caregivers.
Right.
We either were caregivers, are caregivers, or will be caregivers at some time in our life. For most people, you're definitely going to be a caregiver because you're probably going to have children.
Right.
So you already are a caregiver.
That's right.
And frequently, people now, it's the sandwich generation, where you are caught between maybe taking care of younger children, or sometimes even children that are a little bit older, and now you're parents.
Right.
And for many people today, both members of a couple are working.
Right.
And taking care of family members, you really do need that break.
Right. So then your staff comes in, they provide that extra assistance so that maybe the senior's adult son, can go out with his family and just have some time to relax and get away.
Exactly. We have somebody right now, a client who she and her husband have date night once a week.
Awesome.
And what date night is a caregiver comes in. Usually the caregiver is given money to purchase food for an incredibly good dinner. Sometimes it's prime rib.
Nice.
And she and her client will sit down. They'll have dinner. The client will have a nice bubble bath.
Good.
After the bubble bath, they'll have popcorn and watch a movie because the caregiver has brought in a Netflix movie.
Nice.
Then, of course, while they're having that, they're talking and giggling and having a great time. And then to wrap up the evening, they have usually hot fudge sundaes.
Oh,
And so,
I'm already there.
So the husband and wife, they have date night. They go out for 5, 6, 7 hours. They have a great time. They can spend time with friends. They don't have to rush to get home. And we've heard them say many times, I could hear the giggling and the laughing with the caregiver and her client outside the door as they approach.
Awesome.
So it gives them time to just be together, know that mom is safe, and it's just a totally stress-free time.
That's good, and it probably gives another great benefit of just feeling relieved that I'm not the only one that can help mom in this particular situation.
Exactly.
Feeling that someone actually cares enough to do a good job while I'm taking a little bit of time off. That's awesome.
Exactly. And that's really what home care could be and should be.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I think that's a good thing with anyone in our Senior Resource Alliance, where we have this opportunity to talk to people who are specialists in their profession, and then we can get some quality assistance rather than picking and choosing someone out at random. And unfortunately, we at times might make a bad decision thinking that someone has our best interest, when in fact we might be the victim of some sort of targeted some deal or something like that.
Oh, exactly. And I agree with you, Curtis. I think that that's what the Santa Clarita Senior Resource Alliance is. It's a group of people that work well together and can point consumers in the direction that they might have questions about that perhaps they don't even know the right questions to ask.
Right.
And that's important because we can help as an alliance people go in that right direction.
Right, and I think that's the biggest problem, is that if the only wrong question to ask is the question you didn't ask in the first place.
Exactly, or the question you didn't know about to ask.
Right. So
absolutely.
I think that's the opportunity where they can come in and get that information from us all together.
Oh, I agree. And with dignity, what are the things that you want to stress to the consumer? Like, is pre-planning something that they should think about?
Pre-planning is important, and being that I manage Eternal Valley Memorial Park right over here off of Sierra Highway, we do the obvious. People know what we do on a daily basis, which is excellent funeral and cemetery care.
What does pre-planning mean, though?
But pre-planning is saying, you know what? Let's get a plan together. We know that grandma or grandpa may be of a certain age, and let's just have a plan when we need to have end-of-life services. What do we want to do? Have the conversation with them. Do they want to be cremated? Do they want to be buried? Do they want to go back home to Florida where they were originally from? Do they want to stay here in California? Have that conversation. Pre-planning also takes in consideration all the other factors of life. Is dad a discharged member of the military? Did he have extra savings accounts or retirement funds? We have a pre-planning guide that can walk them through all those different parts to pull it together.
How much does that guide cost?
The guide is free.
What?
I'm sorry, the guide is free.
That's my favorite word.
It's free, and it has no cost to it, but the value is enormous. When you need this service, it's terrible having to shuffle and go through the home and find all these little pieces of information.
Like what would be contained in the guide? What kinds of information?
The guide will, of course, have your end-of-life wishes. Is it something that you want to do, the burial, the cemetery, the details about how you would like your remembrance to be. But then even more importantly, it'll have your military information, your savings account information. Did you have any security deposit boxes? How about if nobody knew about a security or safe deposit box, you can't go get a safe deposit box.
Why is that even important?
It's important because a person throughout life, they gather not only belongings in their home, as we were speaking about earlier, that they gather financial possessions also. They may have small small investment bonds or small stocks or retirement or 401k that they have done to be diligent folks in their own lives, but a lot of times they don't share all those details with family and friends, and the only way to get all that information in one place is to use this guide that we have. The guide itself, as I mentioned, talks about what type of retirement plans you have or savings accounts, and it's something that you complete, you set it on the shelf, and you could just forget it. Along with planning, you have a choice to either do something that's pre-planned and funded or not funded.
What does that mean?
So if you have a plan and you know that you want to, let's say, have a small family estate so that we can have a single memorial location after a person passes, you can actually prepay all those services and not leave that burden of payment for the family after the time comes. I think one of the most stressful parts about making final arrangements is, one, guessing what did mom or dad want to do. We never had the conversation because I wasn't comfortable about it. I don't even know if they want to be cremated or what they want to do. But the second part would be this is a large amount of money in a small period of time. If you were to make this plan in advance and make payments along the way, it's easier to put all the full number together in multiple parts rather than coming to a funeral home, either myself or another in our network, and saying this is the total price and doing a full payment at that time.
So it wouldn't have to be necessarily at the location closest to where that person lives.
Correct. I'm one location of many in our network. Here in California alone, we have 180 locations, and then I work with many locations throughout the United States and Canada. So if Newhall is home, that's awesome. If not, come talk to us, and we could find the appropriate place to remember your mom or dad in any state in the United States.
And final arrangements are an important thing that you do recommend.
Yes, for sure. Have a plan, have the conversation. It's easier than a person would think.
Does final arrangements lock in a price?
Final arrangement locks in a price for today, so then when you need it 15, 20 years from now, you're protected from inflation, and it makes it a lot easier along the way.
You are listening to Senior Moments. We're talking about how can the Santa Clarita Senior Resource Alliance help you on Santa Clarita's hometown station, KHTS AM 1220. We will be right back.
This is Senior Moments on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Curtis Woods here with Joel Green. Joel, tell us more. So this is an awesome show and an awesome organization that we're part of.
It really is, Curtis. The big part, the takeaway from Senior Moments, I think, is that the Santa Clarita Valley has access to professionals that are involved in the senior industry, where one call to any of the professionals can put you in touch with a lot of different specialties. That number is 296-8266.
Once again, what was that number?
292-8266.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 296-8266.
Okay.
But the other part of that is that you could contact any one of the people in the organization. We could answer questions relevant to what we do and or point you in the right direction for whatever specialty you might need that we represent.
Agreed. And again, I can't say it enough. It's always better just to ask the questions. And even if you don't know, just call the number, call us, tell us what the situation is, and one of us can point people in the right direction.
And people can call, certainly the members around this table, which would be Candy Watson, Reverse Mortgage Specialist, Cynthia Rabinovich with Move My Senior, or you as well, Curtis Woods with Dignity Memorial, and get that valuable information. Closing thoughts, Candy. What's the takeaway from the show for reverse mortgages?
If you're out there wondering what it's all about, what reverse mortgage is all about, and you might have some misconceptions because there's a lot of myths out there that need to be cleared up, please give me a call. I'm there for education, no pressure. I'm just have a passion for educating the senior to let them know that this option is open for them.
And your phone number?
My phone number is 661-877-1317.
Got it.
Okay, so please feel free. Yeah. Like I said, no pressure, just education.
Cynthia, how about if I have questions about moving, what's the takeaway for Move My Senior?
So moving is the third most stressful life event. So if Move My Senior can help bring that stress down and let you sleep at night and give you that peace, give us a call. We can give you a lot of resources, guidance into what the next step is and what that looks like. I think that's where people fear the most about the whole transition and moving. So it's always better to get educated, like Candy said, and call us, and we'll take care of you. It's important that you look also at other senior move managers, that they're part of an association, that they have their insurance, and that check references. That's always very important. So, but we're also here to help, and you can reach me at movemysenior.com, or you can call me directly at 818-934-1506.
And people could call you, and let's say that they needed, they were wondering if you might know somebody that could even help them with their reverse mortgage. You could put them in touch with
Me.
Candy. I would do that, yeah, if they needed any other
vice versa.
questions, or we needed just some references, or just steer them in the right direction. I would definitely put them in the right direction with the Alliance. That's what's so great about it.
Yeah, I think the Alliance is here to maybe you don't need to have a need now, but you might have in 3, 6 months, a year from now. But you have this resource, this number, the Senior Resource Alliance number to call for help.
Good stuff.
That first step.
And what would you say if it wasn't the Senior Resource Alliance? In some ways, it's kind of a misnomer, because it's an alliance that deals with problems that and situations that seniors face, but it's not only for seniors.
Right.
It's really for adult children as well.
Right, because they get a huge benefit from all the services that we provide for our senior community here in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, because they might be the people that are looking for help for their loved ones.
Very frequently, that's true.
Yeah.
And Curtis, what about contacting you at Dignity?
Briefly, it's my number is 259-0800. We say just have the plan, have the conversation. It's easier than you think. Joel, how can we contact you?
I could be reached at Home Instead Senior Care. Our number is 254-8701. And that's how you can get in touch with me or any member of the Santa Clarita Senior Resource Alliance. This is Joel Green along with Curtis Woods. You were listening to Senior Moments on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.